"He thinks we're too provincial to play with him," she said. "He thinks we have nothing left to wager." Lord Bamber harumphed again.
"You've only £1 or so in the bag, Lord Darius. Not the sort of sum you're used to in London, yet hardly the last of my coin. Go on, put it back. We've plenty of time to turn the tide tonight."
Dare gripped the satchel so tightly he couldn't have set it down even if he'd wanted to relinquish it. "If only I could stay up all night. As it is, I've a need to turn in early. Tomorrow I ride for Cheltenham. I'm sure you understand." The Baron pointed to the chair Dare had vacated.
"A popinjay like you, tired already? No need for humbug, Lord Darius. I promise to make it worth your while."
Dare's hands began to shake, the pound of his rushing pulse the only sound he heard. Worth his while? His chest tightened. What did that mean? Turning down a game of chance wasn't his usual habit, even when his opponents didn't try to lure him in with the promise of a good pot. But no, he'd made a promise to his brothers. No more IOUs. "No, thank you," he said as firmly as he could manage, his jaw aching from being clenched so tightly. The Baron flashed a crisp pound note onto the table so smoothly, Dare didn't see where it originated.
"An eye for an eye,"
Lord Bamber said, flattening his hands against the tabletop again.
"We're not so down on our luck in Hartlebury that we can't win back what we've lost."
Dare stared at the pound note. The rectangular piece of parchment appeared blindingly white in the darkness. £1. An entire bloody £1. And all he had to do was play one more game. Miss Hart watched him calmly, but he wasn't fooled. She thought him stupid for not taking up the Baron's offer. No one walked away from £1, not when they'd been betting shillings. But what would she wager? With her blonde hair twisted in a simple knot and a faded frock hugging her remarkably fine bosom, he couldn't imagine she had an entire £1 to spare. Clearly, she was in reduced circumstances. He indicated the empty space where her coins had once stood. "And you, Miss Hart, what might you use to tempt me?" Her eyes flashed at his unintended innuendo. Truly, he hadn't meant any offence, but for the first time in a long time he felt like smiling. She showed more spirit than most of the knaves he knew put together. She cast a derisive look at the sack of coins he was trying to whisk from the room. "I'm good for it, Lord Darius, I assure you. I always pay my debt." The Baron tisked and shook his head.
"That might work here, where we know where you live, but how is that to help Lord Darius? If he wins, he can't very well ride away with your promise of payment in his pocket. You must wager something he can take with him."
Dare agreed wholeheartedly. He needed ready cash, not IOUs. He'd promised his brothers no more vows. More to the point, he liked how annoyed Miss Hart looked after Lord Bamber's pronouncement. Her eyes sparked and her sun-kissed skin took on a rose-coloured flush. "One of my fine sheep, then," she said through clenched teeth. The Baron sneered before Dare had a chance to decline.
"What will Lord Darius do with a sheep? Tie it to the back of his nag and take it on to Cheltenham? Be serious, Miss Hart."
She scowled, her colour rising higher. Falling lower, actually. Dare was unscrupulously aware that her bosom was beginning to flush. "A saddle, then. He may have his choice from my tack-room." The Baron's eyes gleamed long enough for Dare to catch the man's near-salivating anticipation. Lord Bamber was baiting her. To what purpose? Not a saddle. The man wanted something else put into the pot.
"A sheep or a saddle?"
the Baron crowed, confirming Dare's suspicion.
"Is this setting up a barn? No, Miss Hart. You must offer something he wants. Something we all want.